For doing an amazing organizational job. We work tirelessly, man, tirelessly to get this thing organized and to get all these events in place and to do such an amazing job like he did. You know what I'm saying? I also want to thank General Muhammad and his generals, man, for leading this nation, counseling y'all. General Q, I don't know if he did it is Q, General Kabalama, General Shawamar, General Kathungabal. I want to thank all of them for that. Also want to thank all the camp leaders, man, for tirelessly working in your camp. You know what I'm saying? It felt so good. I'm walking up to you and you like, yeah, everything is good. Yo, so we got 15 brothers, they came down. Yeah, man, I got 5 brothers, they came on through with me. We got 2 new brothers over here. It just felt good to hear them stories of how hard y'all working in your zones to bring this truth on in, man, and to wake brothers up. You know what I'm saying? This truth that's coming out that book that's now inside us, it's like gold, man. And that gold getting spread all over just makes more gold. That's right. And it's an amazing, amazing thing. You know what I'm saying? So before I even damn right, get up. I said, Lord, if it be thy will, take away this cup. Nonetheless, let it be your will. Yahushua went down that hard road, man, to give us a chance to get our kingdom back. And we get ready to go down that hard road and do what we got to do to finish the job that he started to get this kingdom back. You understand? So before I go any further, I got to bring up Captain Akkad Abarayan. Right. I worked up under these generals out to organize an amazing Hebrew academy to bring this Hebrew academy together, man. So I just had to bring them up and have them acknowledged, you know what I'm saying? Before you had them jackets, I heard them jackets looking good on y'all. I see y'all with your crispy jackets. I see y'all. You want to say something? Oh, you good? Okay. So, okay. I want to say one last thing, if I could, before I go. You know, came into the truth, man. I was a young man, like some of you out in here tonight. But as a kid, man, you know what I'm saying, in the Bronx, running on my way to death, to jail, or some other horrible thing in life. And I came down and got with these brothers in Harlem, saw that they knew what they was talking about. And then they told me, man, we're gonna make you a soldier, man. We're gonna get you in this battle. I want you to come on down, man, on Sunday. Back then, the Hebrew Academy was every Sunday. Y'all worried about this little trial. We was out there getting our ass whooped every Sunday. They said, back in the day. And so I came down there, man. And when I came down there, you know, they told me, they said, we're going to give you a sword, man, if you make it through this. We want you to bring that sword back wet. We want you to take this truth, man, and to go out and destroy with this truth. That's right. That's right. You got to make it through the academy before you do that. And they said, because, you know, you got to prove to the Lord that you're going to be a man and stand up in this truth. And I was energized, man. I wanted to find out where I belong. I wanted to find out what my purpose in life was. I wanted to know why, if there's stars in heaven and God is up there, why are black people in the ghetto and so poor while white people are driving in fancy cars and mansions. I want to understand it.
That's right.
They take me to class and bear with me for a second. Y'all know I get a little long with it. I'm trying to make it short. So I went down to class, and I'm young. I'm gonna see what these cats about. And the brother stopped me. He said, "Hold up, brother. Before you do anything, I want you to think for 1 second." I wonder why he's saying that. We in class. He said, "I want you to think about the hardest questions you ever had in your life. I want you to think about the most difficult questions you ever had in your life. And then I want you to ask me every last one of them. And I'm going to answer every last one of them." And I put him to the test, man. I asked him every question in the world. And I realized he knew what the hell he was talking about. So then I said, you know what? I'm coming out to that field. And I went out to that field, man, and I trained. I was young. I'm in there doing my little martial arts, battling, you know what I'm saying? Got to the end of that academy, man. And then Ariana and them said, "Okay, brother, bring it back wet. Take this records out and spiritually go out and win for the truth of the Most High." I'm here to tell you, that's right. And I took those records out and I ran out in the streets like an animal. And I fought with everything I had, man, to both keep to my commitment and to stand with the Lord in this truth. And I called on the thoughts and the scriptures of our forefathers in the past. You know, when our people was in a jam in Egypt 4,000 years ago, being destroyed by the Egyptians, Moses stood up, pulled his sword out. He brought it back wet. And the children of Israel got delivered out there. Was extorting and starving the children of Israel and taking the very bread out of their mouth. Gideon saw what it was and questioned the Most High on it. And the Most High showed Gideon what he had to do. And Gideon pushed over the statues of the Midianites and gathered up 300 fine, choice men. That's right. And took his sword and he brought it back wet. That's right. And the children of Israel got it. Almost no words have to be said about King David, who loved the Most High and trusted the Most High and went out there, brother, for the name of Israel and the name of Yahweh. He took his sword, chopped off the head of the giant, took the giant's sword, and he brought it back wet. When the Greeks came along, I ain't going too much longer. When the Greeks came along and chained down the children of Israel, turned our brothers into traitors against our own nation, made our own brothers hate our own identity and our own history. You understand? Matthias, who had goodly sons that came up under him, he stood up and he pulled his sword out. And he said, "Those that believe in the Most High, come with me into the mountains." And they're damn right. And they came out to the mountains, brother. And he saw the Greeks. And they pulled them swords out. And they did what? They brought them back wet. And what can we say about our king, our holy king, who did even more than all of them, who saw the Romans, the most powerful enemy ever erected on the face of the earth, according to the prophecy of Jacob and Esau? He had to face them Romans down. He had to teach our people and wake our people up against the odds and the power of the Roman Empire, man. But he did it. He did it and carried this truth and his sword all the way to the cross unto death and took his death first before anybody else. That's right. To the Most High. I just got one thing to say spiritually to you young warriors that come up, man. We're in America and we are slaves and we are in captivity. Right. And through all this captivity, the Lord has given you the knowledge of the truth of the Most High. Through all this hell and drugs and TV and video and murder and child molestation and rape and jail, the Lord chose you to give you a knowledge that nobody else had. That's right. And to give you a path to serve him that nobody else can find. Right. You came out here today and fought your way on that course to be considered a man of the Most High, to befriend the Most High, to be on the Lord's side. I want you to remember what Moses did. Remember what Gideon did. Remember what David did. Remember what Matthias did. And as the Romans come down on this nation, I want you to remember what your king did before you, and I want you to bring it back.
What's the name?
ODing on a beat, blood can't flow. Got my boots tied up on my feet in dark camo. Lifestyle not for Robin Leach, I'm on Mike Jones. They don't love me now, but they love when I'm on. I got demons in my face and they'll never leave me alone. I got brothers upstate.
Y'all can't step out right now. Y'all understand? I know they might be making you stay, but you ain't got to stay. Y'all understand? Somebody want to quit now? Come on me. Step out now, walk on me. We still be family. Come on. Come on, don't be ashamed. You ain't got to go through this. Brothers blocking on you, man. Help coming. Anybody. Come on. All right, come on. You leaving? Come on.
Yeah. I tried to graduate 0 minutes from the Hebrew Academy every year for 20 years because I understood how evil it would be for the Most High to give me authority under General Yohanna, and I watered down the ranks of the I.S.U.P.K. Ranks that have been held to such a high standard since 1969. And I knew it was my fervent and holy responsibility to allow no cowards in our camp.
Let's do 10 toes down in these streets, roll round in these streets, roll around the city with the power in his feet. How to make this one let us stand up, but I am not an ordinary man, I'm a motherfucking soldier. The last stand of a soldier. I stood 10 toes down in these streets, roll round in these streets, roll around the city with the power in his feet. That's right. How to make this one let us stand up, but I am not an ordinary man, I'm a motherfucking soldier. The last stand of a soldier. Yeah. I ain't no ordinary man. I'm something that you might never see again. I never was the tallest, never was the strongest. I just held the record for being real the longest. Niggas know they feeling what I feel at my performance. Shitting on these haters, yellow belly like it's jaundice. You know I be on it. No, I keep my bomb lit. Ready just to drop it on you fuckers on some calm shit. Don't doubt the ability. Get down in the field with me. Watch how I be flipping on rappers. Check the agility. How real it be? I was always taught it's either kill or be killed. When you die, leave your will like Uncle Phil. Nigga, chill. I done popped up out the matrix and I ain't had to pop no pill. Raised up in the Philly streets with them gangsters pop that still. I've been down with U.P.K. with the broke or Adam Mill. All I care for is my team. I don't care about no dick. Cause I ain't choose this life, it chose me. That ain't a secret, made an oath to give my soul peace. And I'm gonna keep it, climb the mountain, set my goals steep. And I'm gonna reach it, so I'm up all night with no sleep. Nightmares and demons saw my first feed OD. That shallow breathing kinda fucked me up low key. But I don't speak it till I die. I promise not a tear fall from my eye. Go to war, this my bad.
Lord, that fall in your life.
Academy and all the things that we put on. You will not march in with your brothers. You will not get that jacket.
Have enough for Hebrew Academy this year, please. As you know, I think since Commander General Yohanna gave me the authority I have, that's been about 20 years ago, I believe. And every year for 20 years, I have attempted to graduate 0 men. Everyone knows that. I have never succeeded. Sometimes I came close. I gave it a good shot sometimes. I tried to graduate 0 men from the Hebrew Academy every year for 20 years because I understood how evil it would be for the Most High to give me authority under General Yohanna, and I watered down the ranks of the I.S.U.P.K. Ranks that have been held to such a high standard since 1969. And I knew it was my fervent and holy responsibility to allow no cowards in our camp. And I held that responsibility to this day, dearly in my heart. Well, here we are, 450 men signed up to graduate from the Hebrew Academy. 450. Today we will graduate how many, Isaiah? 130 men. 450 to 130 men. I didn't do such a good job, Jimmy. I tried to cut loose everyone that wasn't worthy to rock that cover.
Let's go. What it do? Go. Leader. Yeah. We speak the truth, but we a top leader. Yeah. World vision, I'm a top leader. Yeah. World vision, I'm a top leader. Yeah. They say I'm in the cult, they say a nigga lost, but I done lost it all. Family and all, they didn't get involved. They just wanna ball, some wanna stall. Back against the wall, we gon' show them all. I don't wanna be here, but you know the slaves. We are not afraid, we are not the same. I just seen death, nigga, written in his eyes. My Iron Man talking, look surprised. Them haters gon' try, but them devils gon' cry. I don't wanna side, nigga, I just wanna ride. I don't wanna hide what I really feel inside. Them devils gonna pay for what they did to me.
Chapter 91, on the top. He that dwelleth in the secret place of the Most High shall abide
under the shadow
of the Almighty.
You stick with the Most High, you gonna abide, brother, under the shadow of the Most High. You go out there after this, go back to your sins, and the Most High will not watch over you, brother. Go ahead,
I would say,
of the Lord.
he is my refuge and my fortress.
Every one of us have turned from the world back to our Hebrew identity and culture, and now we walk with the Most High. And we're saved in our hearts that the Most High is our refuge. Go ahead,
My God, in him will I trust.
in the Most High we trust. No longer we gonna trust in our own carnality, our own strength, our own force, but the power of the Most High that works with you to get you through this is what's gonna get you all the way to the kingdom. You understand? Come on, verse 3.
Surely
He shall deliver thee
from the snare of the fowler.
The fowler is constantly trying to destroy it. Get you up in the car, get you trapped up in the drugs, get you locked up with some woman on child support. But the Most High will deliver us from the fowler. He made us brand new men of God, and he will bring us through the fowler. Go ahead.
Okay. And from the noisome pestilence,
From all the diseases and bombs and destruction that's coming on the earth, you got the great teachers to bring y'all through so that you don't get caught up into this world and destroy it. Go ahead.
he shall cover thee with his feathers.
That's right. Like a bird covered their nest with their feathers, the Most High gonna cover you with his feathers. As long as you stay into this work of the Lord and away from sin. And listen to these jewels out that the Lord that gave you to guide you in the work of the Lord from now to every day of your life.
Go ahead.
And under
His wings.
his wings,
Trust.
under the Lord's wings, you gonna trust. Come on.
His truth shall be thy shield and buckler.
His truth is your shield. That's your wisdom. That's how you deal with this world. Is with this truth. Go ahead.
Thou shalt not be afraid for the terror by night.
This is the day of the end of fear. Because now, though you stand with the Most High in the face of fear, you stand with the Most High. This is the day that fear ends. Go ahead.
Lord, for the arrow.
That fire by day.
Lord, for the warfare, the killing, the task force, the police, the damn, what they call them, the SWAT team. You not to fear that no more because you ain't in that world no more.
That's how I'm
God
God.
stole by the Most High.
Nor for the pestilence that walketh in darkness.
Nor the diseases, the plagues, the war, everything. One more verse.
Nor for the destruction that walketh at noonday.
Nor for the destruction that comes at noonday. Every day we're hearing about something getting blown up, some church getting burned down. We're not going to fear the destruction of the day.
1,000 shall fall at thy side,
That's right.
and 10,000 at the right hand.
1,000 to 10,000 at that right hand. No matter what comes and falls and befalls you, brother, or what befalls on you, both sides of you, the Most High is going to watch over you because you earned the right to bond with the Most High. You have shown the Most High that you can choose him over this wicked world.
But it shall not come nigh thee.
It shall not come nigh you. Brothers, I'd like to congratulate you for accomplishing and succeeding in the I.S.U.P.K. You are
Babylon
Let's get it out here.
These are the men that fought through the fire. These are the men that endured those Sundays, the cold of Chicago, the heat of the West Coast. These are the men that endured cruel instructors all over this country. These are the men who are no count.
That's right. That's right.
Like we talked about yesterday, brothers. First of all, let me just say this. I got to give a great congratulations to Captain Akkad Abarayan. They worked so closely with him. The brothers that worked out in the field and suffered through the battles with him. And brothers, I got to congratulate you so much for being so strong, for giving all of us hope. We are in a crisis here. Put on your garments like the Lord said. Take on your righteousness. Come on the word and change your life. We know that we have done our job and that the Lord will be merciful on the entire nation of Israel because of
Yeah, you got laptop. Come your laptop right?
And in this work, and in this
Laptop.
for the last 20 years.
I'm not going to be someone.
Also, recognize all of my generals who have rolled with me through thick and thin. These are the men that endured cruel instruction.
Shalom.
Shalom.
What's going on, Hebrews? What's going on?
Everything to our people.
All right. How the feed looking?
Sounding good, sir.
It's setting off? All right, solid. Who up front of that? Is it Khan?
Sir.
Okay, if you could move back a little bit, I can't see it. All right, restrict. Who's something still wrong with it? Your card?
Just double check any sound through the television set up. We're getting you on the laptop right now. Turns up sound.
Oh, okay. Well, your sound fine from this end. So whatever you do, just try not to mess up this side. You know what I mean?
Okay.
But I hear you all fine. All right. Say that one more time, man. Okay, you're hearing, but it's what? It's not as strong.
Yeah, it's not strong, but if you hear it,
I mean, if you're able to hook it up somehow where you all could hear better, you could go and do it. Just be mindful that, okay, I'm hearing you all perfect. So maybe don't interfere with whatever comes through from your end. But if it is, because if it's coming through too low, y'all ain't gonna hear too much. You know what I mean?
Okay.
All right. If you still need a minute, you can take a minute and try and work it out to come through the TV. What's it missing? Like a jack up?
No, so like it's just a setting.
Okay, so it's not going through a jack. It's going through what?
It's HDMI cable, sir.
HDMI key? But that should carry the sound still too, right?
So like I said, sometimes if the setting isn't correct,
it doesn't
on the audio control.
Okay. All right, take a minute, all right? All right, any questions in the room? It probably have a delay too, or no? Oh, you'll hear me wrote one time. It seems like it have a little delay. So no questions. You're to one? Tonight we're gonna deal with the abortion. I don't know if the abortion issue is a big issue in Trinidad. I know over the past week it's been in the news a little bit up here. It's kind of been on everybody's conversation. Has it been like that down there? No discussion of it.
Only on Facebook.
Only through the Facebook. Okay, well, I guess it's because different states up here. I think Alabama totally vote against it, where they ain't allowing it no more, and then other states is allowing it. So maybe it's just an American thing, but of course, like everything else, it's only a matter of time before that discussion gets down there, right? And that's what you want to be prepared for it. You don't want to wait till it get there and then you're now pulling whatever you had to pull. You want to already have the backing for it because that discussion is definitely coming. You know what I mean? That discussion is definitely coming because abortions is happening everywhere. You know what I mean? Abortions happening everywhere. So, all right, first off, abortion. Well, what do you all know about it so far? What do you all know about the whole thing? What's the issue? What they're talking about?
So like yes,
Go ahead. It's better now, your card? It's coming through the TV?
like,
Okay, ain't coming.
we'll leave it as is.
All right, ain't no sweat. Ain't no sweat. Let's just try to work it out, you know what I mean, better for next week, all right?
Okay.
All right, no sweat. Go ahead.
Yes, like I said, basically from what we have been seeing on online, Facebook, YouTube, etc. The issue of abortion is more of a pro-choice. We have one side vetted for pro-choice, which is some women asking that they have total control of their bodies, so they have the right to abort a baby if they so choose. And then there's the left-hand side, and the right-hand side saying, if this baby is a human being, you have no right to take the life of another human being just because you feel like it.
All right. All right. Anybody else? Anybody else have any kind of history on it? Because abortions happen everywhere, right? It happens everywhere. Different places at a different rate and a different intensity. But of course, America being Mystery Babylon, the great whore that sits on many waters, the world's iniquity is started and pushed by America. You get me? The faults of the world is started and pushed by America. You understand? If there's something wrong, you could guarantee this is where it started, where it originated, where the drive and the push and the backing for it started. And then it started spreading to everywhere else. Was the precept for that?
So like I said, I'm not sure if this precept lining up the way you're talking about, but that is paraphrasing how you talk about America, very unclean word and every foul spirit.
You closed it. You closed it. That's part of it, where this is where everything, every unclean thing is. But there's a precept for what I just said, where this is where it springs up and originates, and then it's spread throughout the rest of the world.
So like again, so is it just due to the fact that America being Babylon the Great?
It is Babylon the Great, but there's a direct precept to what I'm talking about.
All right,
it's saying it. It's down here saying it. Go ahead.
So I don't know the exact. I don't know exactly where the precept is, but isn't the one I'm talking about, the great whore that sits on many waters?
That's you on it, all y'all around it, and it's probably right around there too. Come on, who's that? Who's that, Bariat?
It have a precept where in Revelation, so they say all the others paraphrasing, all the kings and the earth drink she cup of fornication or something like that.
That's it. Revelation 18, I believe. 18 and probably maybe 7, 6 somewhere is right after come out of her, my people. You understand? For all the kings of the earth. Somebody find it. It's right there in Revelation. Check 18 and 7, 18 and 8. Go ahead. Revelation 18. It's not 18 and 4. But further down, it might be 18:7 or 18:8. Go ahead.
So Revelation 18 and 8 says, therefore shall the place come in one day, death and mourning, famine.
No, that's not it. You'll get around there, and then maybe the verse up or the verse after. Let me catch up to you.
Oh.
Nobody sees it?
Yeah, so like I say, is it on verse 3? For all nations have drunk of the wine of the wrath of fornication.
Yep.
And the kings of the earth have committed fornication with her. And the merchants of the earth are waxed rich through the abundance of her delicacy.
You understand? What is that talking about? What is that talking about? What is that saying?
Like I said, if I may, is it, showing how the modern day Babylon, Dr. Babylon, America, how all other nations have, all nations have drunk of the wine of a wrath of a fornication, where every unclean thing, every policy, every standard that America has or set, all the other nations of the earth follow. Whether it be the same as talking about abortion, pioneer, gay rights, everything that is unclean is pushed and aided by and through America, and all the other nations follow it.
That's true. That's true. But give me some more. Why is it have drunk of the wine of a fornication?
So I guess I'm the answer.
Go ahead. Who's that? You got some?
Basically,
Somebody
this is the
go ahead. Go ahead.
Is the wine that they're talking about the different doctrines that America basically push on the earth and had the earth drunk, like Christianity,
right?
Like the pornography or whatever.
Exactly. It's the okay. How to describe it as wine? Wine is something you like to drink. It tastes good, right? And in consuming wine, what would happen? Your spirit starts getting persuaded, or being in a persuasive space, meaning now you're more open to receiving things and hearing things versus when you're sober. When you're sober minded, you ain't sweating. You ain't busy to check something out. As much as if you drunk, you're more open. You get the point? You're more relaxed. You're not as aggressive for most people. So now the way how America puts forth her case, she would bring it across in a delicious way, in a nice way, in a way that you could easily ingest. You get the point? Quality. You can't tell somebody who to love. Same love. And notice when they push the homosexuality, what else do they push? What else do they push to the homosexuality? Go ahead.
They push on pedophilia.
Pedophilia, that's something else. Remember, what they do something in a way for you to be able to accept it. You understand? Go ahead.
Is it like more like equal rights kind of doctrinal philosophy?
Equal rights is one, but there's something else. There's something else. When they push it, remember, they're packaging it in a certain way for everybody to openly accept it. So if you're going to accept homosexuality, what else are they pushing that people also accept?
Like, is it Christianity?
Well, that's true. That they're pushing that too. Maybe how I'm wording it is you ain't getting it, but you will start seeing it. In pushing the homosexuality, they also push interracial relationships. They both go hand in hand. You know you can't tell somebody who to love. Love sees beyond what? Race, color, social status, and sex, and your gender. You get the point? Like they try to mash it all together because the world is done already accepted interracial marriage. Remember, at one time, segregation was huge. It was a huge thing. And then civil rights and integration, and we were all equal. So now jihad divide. You get the point? Now that they accept interracial, now we could get them to accept homosexuality, pedophilia. You understand? Bestiality is what's coming next. You understand? It's what is called gradualism, right? Gradualism. Gradualism is a term that social engineers use of a technique in making the public accept an idea. You understand? 25 years ago, the public would not have accepted outright homosexuality. 50 years ago, they would not have accepted a white man kissing a black woman or a black woman kissing a white man. Right? Or vice versa, a black man kissing a white woman. You get the point? They would not have accepted it. But there came a time on the television they did it. Bam. They did it. And then gradually, they started having different movies. Jungle Fever was a famous one. You all ever saw Jungle Fever? You seen Jungle Fever? Right? You all remember, okay, the woman, I think she was what? She was Italian? She was Italian. I think she was dealing with with a brother, and I think there was a sister dealing with the Italian. Anyway, the woman came home, and her father beat her behind. He woke her up and beat her behind because she was dealing with somebody outside of the race. You get the point? At one time it was not accepted, but gradually, they start showing, and the images started coming up. The images started coming, TV shows, through the TV shows, and of course the religion, God love everybody, is always there. That's like the underlying drum line or the bass in a song. It's always there. Doom, doom. God loves everybody, and they just throwing in things, and before long, interracial marriages are accepted. Interracial marriages are toward. So now that we know we could love who we want to love, let's take it a step further. A man could love a man. A woman could love a woman. And it's a whole mess today through gradualization or gradualism. You get the point? This devil who controls, he is not like how we think. We think today for tomorrow. You get me? We think you do something today, you reap it tomorrow. That's how as a people we think. The white man is not like that. He make a plan today for the next 50 years and stick to the plan. You understand? He'll stick to that plan knowing it is going to work. Right? What's the next example of gradualism that you see in society today? $1.
What gradually they have married a man supposed to have one wife. That came on gradually.
Okay, now that wasn't gradual. That was something that was always taught. That was something that was always, well, it probably was gradual a few hundred years ago, but for the past few hundred years, it's been one man, one woman through white supremacy, through the Christianity and all that stuff. But I'm talking about something that 50 years ago was not accepted. Or 20 years ago, 30 years ago, that was not accepted. Who's there in the back there?
Yes, sir. I guess so.
Go ahead, Nicole.
I don't know if this way, looking for something like persons taking sex change, sir. You know, more than
the sex change is definitely one. But the sex change is the same thing as the homosexuality, but it's definitely one.
Yeah.
I'm gonna give you something else.
Like I said,
Go ahead, you can.
is it like open witchcraft?
What do you mean?
One, you know, sometimes you know how we have you really practicing witchcraft. You know, usually some will be done in secret. I see they have someone on Facebook where they are the first Christian witch council. You know, all those type of, you know, quote unquote taboo type stuff.
Okay, the taboo type thing is coming out more. That's okay. I would say that's gradualism also, but that also comes with the degeneration of society, where now things is done, you know, openly. You get the point? Is openly, just like smoking weed now. It's that, you know, men burning it anywhere. When 20 years ago, you used to have to go up in the cut to get it. Everywhere, any party you go to, even if you're going to watch a football game, there's one part of the stands you know you had to go to get that pen. You know it. You know anybody who down there getting high. You get me? But now it's so open. But I'm gonna give you another one that's it's clear. When I say it, you all would know it. Skinny jeans. Skinny jeans was gradually brought on because why? At one time, everybody jeans was baggy and you was clowned for wearing skinny jeans. So slowly but surely, the white man start cutting back on it. You know why? Because he realized you wearing 3 pairs of pants. You understand? That one big baggy jeans you wearing is 3 pairs of skinny jeans. So now I'll gradually introduce the homosexuality, the metrosexual shit, the whole thing about the pretty boy era, the whole pretty boy shit where you had to move away from that baggy clothes and, you know, Timbs, and you had to dress nice for the ladies. Get them, you know, fitted shirts that's stopping all the way up here to show your biceps. You get the point? And you gotta wear jeans that fit. You don't need all that material. Look at all that material on you. And now you know, brothers is wearing full out wearing, you know, damn near leggings. And, you know, kill them dead is, you know, it's good style and fashion and it's masculine. When it's feminine. But if you went in the store yesterday and bought a baggy jeans, and then today you bought skinny jeans, you would reject it. Like you go in the store the next day and see no more baggy jeans and just see skinny jeans, then what? You would reject it. But you have to gradually turn it. Go ahead.
Even understand that, I think also the reason why you would reject it because your view of it, you would see it as feminine.
Exactly.
Obviously not even, yeah.
Exactly.
So
you mindset. Go ahead, Salaki. I'm forgetting there's a delay. Go ahead,
Yeah, so yeah, we were saying that there's a change in the mindset, a gradual change. Where before, as the baggy jeans would be seen as masculine, and the skinny jeans feminine. There's a flip with that. So they bring the skinny jeans or the tank top shirt and all those things as gradually through the media, through movies, as a masculine feature, as well as something like wearing makeup. That men never used to even dream about wearing makeup. Now they're talking about, you know, toning your skin and a line of makeup for men and all those kind of foreign stuff where 20 years ago would have never happened.
all the kind of Batman thing. That way you really want to see. All the kind of Batman thing we're talking about, all the Bola man thing. Right? So you're absolutely right. Is that level of gradualism. Remember Cartel sing a song, Straight Jeans and Fitted? Right? So it's all coming out because they want in 20 years, they want the society to be a certain way. And that's how they manipulate things. And it's the same thing with abortion. All right? Abortion started, the whole movement was galvanized, you could say, or it became something big in a famous court case called Roe versus Wade. Somebody pull it up. Right? Roe versus Wade. Just also write these down. There's 3 cases. You're going to need to know this, not necessarily for down there because it's not Trinidad courts, Caribbean courts, but because those courts also respond and revolve around America's laws, it's good to know where they come from. So 3 cases that formed or framed Black lives today. There are 3 cases, court cases, famous court cases. Roe versus Wade is one, Brown versus Board of Education, and Plessy versus Ferguson. All right, those were 3 monumental court cases that changed the landscape of Black people, of course, in America, but that again, through the philosophy, through the Christianity, through the wine of their fornication, that was spread through the region. You get? And spread throughout the rest of the world. You understand?
Yes, sir.
Go ahead.
Brown versus who?
Brown versus the Board of Education. All right?
Okay.
Right? Brown versus Board of Education is directly tied to integration and losing Black schools and, integrating into the white man schools and all that type of stuff. All right? It's directly tied into that. And the other one is Plessy versus Ferguson. All right? You could Google them, check them up on your own. You're gonna need to have some knowledge of it with it. So somebody pull up Roe v. Wade for me real quick. All right? 757. Somebody pull up Roe v. Wade for me. Anybody?
Roe versus Wade was a landmark decision of the U.S. Supreme Court in which the court ruled that due process clause of the 14th Amendment of the U.S. Constitution provides fundamental right to privacy that protects a pregnant woman's liberty to choose whether or not to have an abortion. It also ruled that this right to privacy is not absolute and must be balanced against the government's interest in protecting women's health and protecting paternal life, prenatal life.
Right? So break it down. Who understands? If you need it read again, just ask the brother to read it again. All right, go ahead.
Yeah, basically, what I pretty much understand so far is that they're using the right to privacy to say that more or less say that a woman's body is shown, and it is she right to choose if she would want the child or not, basically.
Right, because of course it's her privacy. Get the point? That's it's like invading privacy, invading her personal space. It's her body. It's her body. She could do what she wants with it, which again was unheard of maybe 40 years prior. It was unheard of, but gradually the power started shifting to women. You get the point? Gradually power started shifting to women, and of course now this happened. You understand? And what is their main argument for why a woman needs to have an abortion? Of course, the privacy is the legal argument, but you know, everything needs a good reason. We need a good reason to do this, a good reason. That's reason, that's logical. What's their logic argument for something like that?
Slacker, sir. Slacker, sir.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, for one, they say she done planned it, or she been molested, she been raped.
She's been
Why she
molested.
don't
She's been molested. She's been raped. That's definitely the that's definitely the crux of it. After they say, well, you can't tell her what to do. She's a woman. You don't know what she has to go through. Can you carry a child? After they exhaust that argument, the next argument is she's been molested. You get the point? The next argument is she's been molested, she's been raped. You know, she should not be forced to have to carry, you know, her rapist child. All right?
Okay.
Hold on. I'm gonna put this right here for you. Somebody, I just put something in there, in that box there for you. Whoever had a phone, just start reading it. But don't read the first stat. Read from the second one to the bottom and then read the first stat last. All right, whoever could pull it up there now. Who had the phone? Come on.
Answer.
All right, go ahead.
Like I said, the last stat with this other.
No. Read from the second statistic down to the last one, and then you read the first one last.
Percentage. Fetal health problems, 3%. Physical health problems, 4%.
All right. So now this is excuse me. This is the statistics of the statistical breakdown of the percentage of abortions that women have. Read it again from the top.
Fetal health problems, 3%.
Fetal health problems, 3%. Meaning, what is fetal health problems?
So like I said,
Go ahead.
it's like stating that they have a health problem with the baby, probably baby heart or a deformity or something.
Right. The baby has a problem. Of course, the white man doesn't give anybody a chance to fight. He'd rather kill you. If your baby have something that they could live with, the right man would tell you, you know, kill the child. But of course, some situations, there's the baby is definitely sick. It's definitely sick, or something is going on, and you may have to have an abortion before it. If that's your situation, come and get counsel here first, based on whatever your doctor recommends, and then you move from there. All right? Right. First off, let me just say this to clear the air. Is there a time that abortion is okay, or is it always wrong?
Slacker said, there's a time that they say it is okay. For example, down here in Trinidad.
Go ahead.
For example, down here in Trinidad, it is illegal to have an abortion. But they say you can only have an abortion if it's having complications that will affect the parent or the baby.
All right. So now, according to the Bible, is that lawful or unlawful?
Okay, that's unlawful, sir.
Anybody else?
No, so like I said, I know in certain matters, you have to get counsel on the matters, sir.
Right. right? But okay, let's say this woman is about to have this baby, and the baby is going to threaten her life. And according to the doctor, she is surely going to die.
Right, so like I said.
Mm-hmm.
Right, well, I more or less standing on what I mentioned before. I'm talking about from the UPK perspective, being the truth.
Right.
In any situation, you always sought counsel before you make a final decision.
Right. So is
that means it's like
straight down the middle. nothing on the leg side, nothing on the off side. Straight down the middle, Maca.
You can't answer, so like I said.
Go ahead.
The reason why I responded that way is seeing that we rebuild the nation. That is the perspective I'm looking at it from.
No, you're right. You're absolutely right. I'm putting it out there to see if the pressure of whatever the situation is will make you say, well, yeah or no. No matter what, you get counsel. You get counsel in the situation. Now, sometimes the counsel might be, yeah, you're going to definitely have to abort the baby. You understand? Because it's self-defense. This baby is threatening your life. It can happen. It's very rare. It's very rare. But you come and get whatever recommendation from your doctor, get 2 or 3 second opinions and come and get counsel. If somebody's threatening your life if you're somebody's threatening your life and you take that person's life, is it murder?
No,
it's, what is it called?
Self-defense, like I said.
It's self-defense in that case. But that is not a decision for you to make. You get the point? Or you're a sister, you're going through something, you tell your husband and call the school and get proper counsel on the matter. Based on the doctor's evidence and their findings, you come up in here and you get some counsel on it. Don't sit down home and say, well, I ain't gonna graduate school, this baby threatening my life, I ain't gonna be able to buy Jordans and go kill the baby. That's murder. Right? This is a case of whatever sickness the woman might have or medical condition, she is surely going to die in birth. There's no 50% chance or 30% chance. She's dead if this baby goes full term. You get the point? Come get counsel. And of course, if the counsel is, you might have to go through that procedure. This is not murder, but self-defense. You get the point? But that is a very, very rare situation, right? Very rare. All right. So go ahead, you can read it down.
Physical health problems, 4%.
All right. Physical health problems, 4%, which is what we just talked about. All right. That's what we just talked about, the physical health of the mother. The one before was fetal health problems. Keep going. And you see how low that is, 4%. 4% of the abortions that happen is because the mother has a physical health problem. She can't carry the baby. You get the point? She can't carry it. How low that is and understanding it. Who's that? Who's that walking there?
What's that?
That's a whole boy. My nigga. All right. So you see how small that 4% is, right? And still knowing the white man, that 4% could probably be 2 or 1 because of course he killing everything anyway. But even with him killing, it's still a very small percentage, right? Keep going.
Would interfere with education or career, 4%.
Right, what does that mean?
So like I said, it has some women studying to be doctors or lawyers or whatever, and they say if they have a child or if they get pregnant, will hamper them from their studies. Because the child, hormones does increase, all of this doesn't happen, so they will tend to have an abortion.
All right, that's one case. That's one case. Don't even think. And okay, that's not one case, but that's one condition. There's another condition where she in high school, she ain't even getting no degree, but her parents can't have their daughter have a swell belly in, St. Joseph Convent or Vesini or El Dorado Senior Comp. You get me? She in Form 3, Form 4. Some swanky boy in there done do his do, get her pregnant, or some, whatever else, whoever she fall up under, she pregnant, her parents pressure her to do it, or the man, the brother or whoever, the man who got her pregnant, tell her, nah, that's that, we getting rid of it, you too young, blah, 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 right? So for career or for future gain, 4%, right? Go ahead.
Right. Okay. Not mature enough to raise a child, 7%.
7%. Not mature enough to raise a child. What does that mean?
Like I said, have some women coming 12 years old pregnant, 13 years old pregnant. So the parents will say, well, nah, you still have snotty nose, you can't have a child now. You experience like that, show the child.
Right. There's another thing.
Like I said,
go ahead.
Is it also, even though the person has the age, but mental capacity, they may not be mentally be able to stable to raise a child.
Now that's the one you had to look at. The age thing, it's still wrong. That child should still go through and, do what she had to do. But according to the white man, he determines if you're mentally capable. All right. After slavery, the white man, he sterilized a lot of our women using that excuse. All right. He sterilized a lot of our women using that excuse. I believe if you go to I.S.U.P.K, Oklahoma, I think Oklahoma City, it was discovered where at first he was taking the babies away in childbirth. As soon as the woman make the child, he take the baby and give it to some other family and tell her baby died in childbirth. And come to find out, 40, 50 years later, the child was sold. That was the first thing. The second thing was he would sterilize a young woman, telling them they're not mentally equipped to carry a child, or they wasn't smart enough. I forget what the word. There was a word he used. They're not witty enough. But it's something to say that this person is too stupid to multiply. That's what it really translated into. That this person is, they're low intelligence, so they should not multiply. You understand? So now, of course, that comes in the line of oppression through the abortion that we have. So when you see that not mature enough to have a child, don't just think physical age. Think the white man just, giving you some IQ test or talking to you, and because you might speak broken English or not perfect like him, he calls you a fool. What's the word? Is imbecile? Oh boy, the word is right there.
Yeah. Like I said.
Go ahead.
Incompetent.
Not incompetent. We use it in Trinidad too. Boy, is imbecile. Invalid. Like how people say invalid.
Yeah.
You know that word invalid is really invalid, meaning you're not valid. So the white man would stamp you as an invalid, meaning you shouldn't have no children. You get the point? And he would do that to a lot of our women after slavery, but it was for the pretense of diminishing our population. All right? So go ahead.
Is it a label like how they use ADHD?
Exactly like that. Just like that, ADHD. Every child got ADHD. When you look up those things, it's like everybody got ADHD. You get the point? Everybody. Or autism. Now, autism is a real thing, but the way they describe that spectrum, I mean, goddamn, as you reading it down, it's like every nigga is somewhere on the goddamn spectrum somewhere. You know what I mean? So it's you have to really watch and get counsel along with the medical advice on what's going on. You understand? Keep reading.
Don't want to be a single mother. 8%.
8% don't want to be a single mother, which is damn near the same as interfering with a career. You understand? And also that goes hand in hand with not being mature enough to raise a child, because you ain't raising the child by yourself. You get the point? So what does the maturity have to do with anything if there's another person involved? All right, don't want to be a single mother. You want to be a married mother. You should have thought of that before you opened your legs. Just like finishing school. You get the point? Keep going.
Don't having children, 19%.
19%. Right? You had two children in your early 20s. You don't want no more. All of a sudden, you 34 years old, jumping up in Poison Bar on Carnival Tuesday, and October or November, you making a Carnival baby. But you don't want the baby, though. You don't want the baby no more. So, because you're done with being a mother, you abort the child. How much percent is that?
19%.
19% is done with being a mother. I just don't want to be a mother no more. I kill the baby. Whether they're mature, whether they're old enough, whether they're single or not, kill the baby. 19%. Keep going.
Can't afford baby, 23%.
23%, quarter of the abortions come from people who think they're too poor to have a child. You understand? Now, your perception of poverty comes from where?
Yes, I guess.
Go ahead.
Television.
Say it right, Dad. Say it for me right.
See if you're right. Like I said,
Is the television a living thing that comes up with its own ideas?
All right, kind of answer. So it comes from the prince and the power of the air. So-called white man, devil, the Bible speaks.
That's right. That sounds like a UPK answer to me. That sounds like a UPK answer. The television is. Let me tell you what the television answer is. The television answer is, you hit that, bro. Yeah, man. TV is the TV. That's that answer, which is a good answer for somebody who is not trained. A brother who is not trained, sitting on the block, hanging with the homies, they're going to talk real shit, but they're not trained to zero in on who the real problem is. The white man's, his opinion is how we form our lives in the world. His opinion is, your woman gets her idea of marriage from him, which is why so many women were taken by storm when they had the royal wedding, right? All them women was all emotional and tweeting and waiting for the Prince Charming, because that idea of marriage comes from him. A prince coming and taking you when nobody else wants it. You get the point? Our idea of life comes from the white man. Our idea of poverty comes from the white man, which is why we overreact when we think we're poor. You understand? When we think we're poor, we may or may not actually be poor, but just the thought of it makes us do something ridiculous. So now she get pregnant, she might be taking the bus to work or to school, working at McDonald's, sharing an apartment with somebody or a house. In her mind, because she's not Kim Kardashian, she's poor. So, kill the queen. You get the point? And that comes up to damn near 25%. Keep going.
Not ready for a child, 25%.
Not ready for a child, 25%. So hold on. Would interfere with career education is her not being ready for a child. But yet still there's a whole other category of not being ready for a child. That's 25%. So damn near 50% of this is timing. Imagine that. 50% of abortions is timing. One, saying, I'm too old. I'm done with children. I'm done with it. Not even too old. Just some woman after the first one, because the first one was so rough, the brother done left. She on her own, blah, 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 blah. She, one child forever, and she gonna end up marrying that boy in the spirit. That boy will grow up to be her man. Right? That's 25%. The other one is not the right time. No, it's not the right time. I just get rid of it. Next week, Saturday, go out, get pregnant. No, it's not the right time. I just get rid of it. It's been not the right time so much the white man came up with Plan B. He has a whole pill for it. You get the point? It's been not the right time so goddamn much. 50% of this thing is just timing. Keep going.
Other 6%.
Right? Other reasons, whatever else, is 6%. Whatever other reason is 6%. Now read the last statistic you're supposed to read.
Victim of rape.
Say it again.
0.5%.
Say it one more time.
Victim of rape. 0.5%.
No, you read it wrong. I wish it was 0.5%.
Victim of rape. 0.5%.
No, somebody help him.
Less than 0.5%.
Less than 0.5% of all abortions come from victims of rape. The rest is bullshit. Now let's say for argument's sake you want to give them fetal health problems as a valid thing. Like, you know, the argument for abortion, rape is a valid excuse for that, right? Let's give them fetal health problems and physical health problems. That's still less than 10%. That's still less than 8%. More than 90% of abortions in total is garbage. The reasons behind it is foolishness. It's timing. I'm done with having children. It will interfere with my career. Not mature enough to raise a child. There's some 20-year-old women not mature enough to raise a child, but they're mature enough to have sex with them. They're full-grown 20 years old, driving a car, paying rent, and showing up to work on time. But, you know, not mature enough to raise a child. You understand? The abortion thing is a serious problem. It's an issue that you're gonna have to be prepared for because it's on its way to you. All right, it's on its way to you. All right, give me Psalms 103 real quick. Give me Psalms 103, and then I'm gonna put another something in there once, so whoever gets first to read it for me. All right, quickly. Give me Psalms 103 quickly, because we run up on the time, all right?
Psalms 103. Bless the Most High, O my soul, and all that is within me. Bless his holy name. Bless the Most High, O my soul, and forget not all his benefits. Who forgiveth all thy iniquities? Who healeth all thy diseases?
Hold on. I think
who redeemeth thy life?
I may have called the wrong one. Hold on. Psalm 100 and verse 3? Or you reading 3 and 1?
Psalms 100 and verse 3.
All right, hold on.
Know ye that.
I may have called the wrong one. Yeah. So what you was reading first? God damn. What you was reading first?
So like I said, first I was reading Psalms 103.
Oh, 103 and 1. Okay. Give me Psalms 100 and verse 3. Salaki.
That one cancel. Psalms 100 and verse 3. Know ye that the Most High, He is God. It is He that hath made us, and not we ourselves. We are His people, and the sheep of His pasture.
Right? That's your first precept. Know ye not that the Most High has made us, and not we ourselves. You understand? That's your first precept. Make sure you take note of that. All right? Give me Lamentations 4 and 3. Right? Hold on.
Lamentations.
Hold on to that one. I'm going to call out a few of them. You could write them down, but each man hold one. Definitely Lamentations 4 and 3. Wisdom of Solomon chapter 12. I'll give you the verse just now. And give me Jeremiah 44, I believe. 44? Yeah. All right. So give me Lamentations 4, verse 3.
Lamentations chapter 4 and verse 3. Even the sea monsters draw out the beast.
Read one more time.
Even the sea monsters draw out the beast, the breast.
Go ahead.
They give suck to their young ones. The daughter of my people is become cruel, like the ostrich in the wilderness.
All right, break it down. Come on, quickly. We ain't got much time.
Even the sea monsters draw out their breasts. Even the fishes in the sea take care of their young ones. So this shouldn't be an excuse for all women not to take care of their children.
Exactly. All right, hold on. Give me okay, then this is gonna blow your mind, right? If you read this for somebody, what are they gonna say when you say even the fishes in the sea do this?
So like I said,
go ahead.
I see them as animals. They don't have a choice.
Okay, have you ever seen a fish breast?
Nah.
God damn. So hey, give me a tell me. Somebody come up to you all on promenade as you pull this scripture and a nigga say, man, you lying. Ain't no fish on no breast. That's I guess the whole camp shut down, we done.
So like I said,
come on.
If I'm not mistaken, I just have to do a double check, but some species of whales, mammals, they do give a suckle.
Oh shit! Oh shit! You can't go ahead. I need something now. Go ahead. Let's turn the class over to your car. Go ahead. That is correct. This is not talking about, you know, he said even the sea monsters. So we're talking about big fish in the sea. Right? Big fish don't lay eggs like them small ones. They have the big ones is what they call what? Mammals. Meaning they give birth like humans or like a giraffe. And those whales, they have slits on the underside of their body that they have feeding glands that the young one nurses. That's why when they're born, they swim so close. You think that they're swimming so close, they're feeding. And the Lord is saying, even them big ass fish will breastfeed. But bitch, you ain't gonna do it. You wouldn't do this. If you wouldn't, you don't want to do this for yours. You rather just kill the child. You understand? Our women have done. Our women following after this heathen have become like the ostrich, who lay the eggs and just cover them up on the sun, on the soil there, and just don't care about them. Just go, leave them. You get the point? It's a child. It's a child. You want to be the ostrich and make the child and leave it there? No problem. Just bring it to the UPK. Bring it to the UPK. We'll take care of the child and still go to camp and teach class and raise that baby up. And we'll raise that baby up to go find you when that baby is old enough to go find their own mother and father. But you don't have to kill no child. The days for that is gone. You just bring that baby here. We'll raise that baby up. No problem. Bring it and drop it on the front door. Once it's an Israelite, of course. If you're a heathen, you're on your own. If you're a heathen, you're on your own. I ain't telling you to go kill the child, but I'm just saying, do whatever you want. I don't give a damn. But if you're an Israelite, bring the child here. We'll take it in.
Okay.
All right. What else? Go ahead.
Yeah, even as you was drawing reference to the sea monsters, I think if I'm not mistaken, even the beloved dolphin that everybody know of, I think they also suckle the young.
I believe so. I believe them mammals, them fish that is considered mammals, they do it. I believe so. So that's just in case some simple fool come and talk about fish don't have no breast. You know what I mean? First, he didn't say fish. Fish is different from a mammal. Fishes lay eggs. A mammal doesn't. You understand? You could fully school him on his science, right? Because they're going to come with it nonsense. All right? Let me get a few more. Give me Wisdom of Solomon 12. Also, I'm going to call out some more that you can just put in your precepts. Just for the time's sake, we ain't going to go through all of them. Wisdom of Solomon 12, hold that. Hold also for me Maccabees chapter 7, the one with the mother. The mother with the 7 sons. Hold that for me. Take these other ones down. 1 Corinthians 6, 19 through 20. Deuteronomy 28 and 56. That's another one we're going to read for sure. Jeremiah 44 and 7. And Jeremiah 1 and 5, I think. I'm going to check that 1 and 5. Hold on. All right. Give me Wisdom of Solomon 12 next. Quick.
Wisdom of Solomon 12 answer, and which book was it?
12, start at 5.
Wisdom of Solomon chapter 12 and verse 5.
Right.
And also those merciless murderers of children, and devourers of man's flesh, and the feast of blood. Verse 6. With their priests out of the midst of their idolatrous group, and the parents that killed with their own hands souls destitute of help. Verse 7. That the land which thou esteemest above all other might receive a worthy colony of God's children. Verse 8. Nevertheless, even those thou sparest as men, and didst send wasps for runners of thine own.
Stop right there. Read 5 and 6 again, or 5 through 7.
Wisdom of Solomon chapter 12 and verse 5. And also those merciless murderers of children, and devourers of man's flesh, and the feast of blood. Verse 6. With their priests out of the midst of the idolatrous group, and the parents that killed with their own hands souls destitute of help.
Stop right there. That's all you need. That right there, for me personally, for abortion, that's the one hitter quitter for me. That there describes the entire thing. You understand? You are a merciless person to do that.
Right.
You have no mercy. You're a merciless murderer, and your preachers help you murder your children. Your idol worshiping preachers help you murder your children. All your religious men, they help you do it. That's why I said they're idolatrous crew. Right? The whole crew, like you're just a gang of baby killers. Right? Right? Killed with their own hands, souls destitute of help. You know what destitute of help is?
Oh, God.
What is destitute of help?
Yes, sir.
Go ahead.
Right? They are in need of help. They need badly of help.
They're in bad need of help. They can't help themselves. Just picture, imagine a little child who, like a young child, not even 4 or 5, where they have a certain sense on bearing a life. Like a young child who is still, like, just barely 2.5. They could talk a little bit, but they don't know much. Imagine somebody beating that child in a closet or in a room. That child can't even run away. That child can't hide. It's just too small. It's too weak. They can't hit back. All they could do is what?
Go
ahead.
Let's ball, scream.
All they could do is cry. All they could do is cry. All they could do is cry. And they're so not in a position to help themselves. In that point, whoever's beating them and abusing them, if they say, "Will you do this?" that child will say, "Yes, I'll do it." That child will even run and hug the person who beating them up just for them to stop. They're so helpless. Now, some idiot is going to argue that a baby in the womb is not yet alive, so it doesn't do that. That's a lie. That child is screaming in that womb as you killing it, as you pulling the arms and the legs off. Right? Go. When you get a chance, go Google this heathen doctor named Kermit Gosnell. Kermit Gosnell is a doctor out in Philadelphia that was murdering babies like frying chicken up. Murdering babies. They only found out because some sister went in there and got sick on the table and died later through an infection because it was so disgusting in his office. When they went there, he had bodies of babies stacked up in a corner and blood everywhere. Wouldn't even clean it. Go check him out. His name is Kermit Gosnell. He's some kind of heathen, Filipino or Thailand or some kind of monster. Some kind of monster. The baby is crying. The baby is fighting for life. The baby, some of them will pull back into the womb when they go in the womb and when they go between the woman's leg and try to pull it out. Them late-term abortions. The baby coming out head first. They come with a drill and drill a hole in the baby head until the baby is dead. You understand?
So I guess
go ahead.
I know the white man, uses the thing on, like you said, it says that once the head of the baby is not out of the womb, it's not born, so it's not a child, so it's not a human. So what they would do, when I read that, they would get the whole body out and leave the head inside, take a pliers and snip the spinal cord, or drill back on the skull, and then legally pull it out.
Okay, now it's the other way around. As soon as the head breach the womb, they do it. And then they pull the dead thing out in pieces. That's why when you see that UPK abortion sign, there's a cold picture in there, bro. I mean, over years, I could look at the abortion sign. At first, I couldn't even look at the goddamn abortion sign. I couldn't even look at it. There's a picture in there of a baby's head with a forceps. and the neck, the neck is shredded because they pull the head off. Because according to the white man, if it's still in the womb, it's not born, so it's not murder. You're killing some entity in there. You're merciless murderers of children who can't help themselves. Because if that baby had legs to run, it would run from your wicked ass. You understand? Jeremiah 1 and 5, quick. Give me Jeremiah 1 and 5, and then I want the one in the Apocrypha in what is it, Maccabees? Quickly.
The book of Jeremiah, chapter 1 and verse 5. Before I formed thee in the belly, I knew thee. And before thou comest forth out of the womb, I sanctified thee. And I ordained thee a prophet unto the nations.
So now, you having abortions, you are Black, Hispanic, or Native Indian woman. You killing the prophets of our nation. Like the Lord knows that child. The Lord knows that child that you don't want us to know. You understand? That child you don't want nobody to know about, the Lord knows that child. The Lord already knows that child. The Lord put that child there. You killed it. You did it. You murdered that prophet. You murdered that young sister who would have grown up to help a prophet. You understand? You make sure you have these things ready because, brother, that argument is next. That argument is next in Trinidad. It's next. And of course, you make sure as you cutting, you sewing up. Anybody who had an abortion in the past, you could change your life and the Lord will forgive you for it. But if after you hearing this today, you continue your hoeing ways and you go kill more babies, the Lord is going to kill you. Like before this, you could have said, I didn't know no better. And you probably didn't. And that's fine. But after this, you go ahead and do it. The blood is on your hands. Both brother and sister. Because many times brothers will go pay for it. Brothers will drag her down there and go in there and pay for it. You get the point? Make sure you're ready for it once that argument gets there. All right, give me the one in Maccabees. The woman with the 7 sons. Second Maccabees, chapter 7.
27, 28.
22.
Look at Second Maccabees, chapter 7 and verse 22. I cannot tell how he came into my womb, for I neither gave you birth nor life. Neither was it I that found the members of every one of you.
Right? So she is now responding to her sons as they're about to die. Or they done been killed one by one. And she's saying, listen, I can't tell you all how you all came into my womb. Of course, she's speaking poetically. She knows she had sex with her father. But she's talking about the whole science behind it. She knows that this baby, what comes out of a man's rod during sex with a woman, once it's inside her, it can grow into a child. But to say that, let's say one of her sons' name is Philip. She don't know when Philip got in there and what he did and how he came in. She didn't give him breath. She didn't give him life. Keep reading.
Verse 23. But doubtless the creator of the world.
Read it again.
But doubtless the creator of the world.
Meaning without a doubt, the God of this world, keep going.
Who formed the generation of man. And found out the beginning of all things.
Go ahead.
Will also of his own mercy give you breath and life again.
Give you breath and life.
As ye know, again.
When?
Again.
So if the God of this earth, the creator of all things, who formed the generation of man, he knows the beginning of all things. If he will give her sons life again, when did he give them life before?
Yeah, so like yes, sir.
Come on, Makar.
That is at that present time when they're being killed, sir.
But when did he give them life before? If she is saying God is going to give them life again.
But so she was not so like I say for me, I believe she was referring to the reincarnation.
She is referring to reincarnation. But listen to what I'm saying. She is telling them they will come back. That's what she's saying. She is saying, yes, you will come back. The God of this earth will give you life again. Again meaning what?
Yes, sir.
In the future. So if again, okay, again doesn't mean the future. It's going to happen in the future, but again means a second time. Like if you tell somebody do it again, they could do something in the future for the first time. You understand what I'm saying? But again really means a second time. You understand?
Right.
So now if the Lord was going to give life a second time, when did he give it the first time? Or the time before that? Go ahead.
Yes, sir. I mean, sir, at the inception or when she was impregnated, at the first time when she was conceived in the womb.
That's right. He gave that life. So that life you are aborting, the Lord put that life there. You killing something, the Lord put there. You understand? Now, if after that you want to go get simple and follow the goddamn white man, the Lord be with you then. You could negotiate with him as to why you killed what he gave life. Why you killed in such a merciless, murdering way with somebody that didn't do you anything. Somebody that could not even run from you. Because you want to follow the white man, you want to go do it again, no problem. Ain't no sweat, no problem. The Lord is going to see you on that. You understand? All right, give me that thing I just put in there too. All right, the other precepts, you'll definitely look them up and line them up how best you want to bring it forward, all right?
So I guess,
go ahead.
What's the 2 Corinthians again? The 2 Corinthians.
2 Corinthians 6. 2 Corinthians 6, 19 and 20. Hold on, let me see if that's really for this. So I have that on the side. Hold on. It might be 1 Corinthians. Hold on. It might be 1 Corinthians. Hold on, I think I may have made an error with that. 1 Corinthians 6, 19 and 20, not 2nd. 1 Corinthians. All right, 1 Corinthians.
Right.
All right, go ahead. Give me that. Give me that one that I just put in there. All right, part 1 and part 2. Read it through nice and low.
Margaret Sanger, founder of Planned Parenthood. It seems to me, from my experience, that while the colored Negroes have great respect for white doctors, they can get closer to their own members and more or less lay their cards on the table, which means their ignorance, superstitions, and doubts.
You understand? So now she talking about how the relationship between the white man and the slave could be beneficial. You understand? Go ahead.
We should hire 3 or 4 colored ministers.
We should hire, we could do what?
We should hire
3 or 4 colored ministers, preferably with social services backgrounds and with engaging personalities. The most successful educational approach to the Negro is through a religious appeal.
Now understand that Margaret Sanger, this was something she wrote in her address as a statement, as she was, propelling the eugenics movement into Planned Parenthood. You understand? They know that our religious leaders is how you get us to perform or to move left or right. And they know all you had to do is get one who is willing to sell his ass. You understand? One who is willing to take a check, you get him. You get a religious leader and a white doctor that deals with black people, you could kill the whole nation. Because now, this doctor knows everything about these people. Their fears, their problems, their superstitions, what they're into, what sicknesses. And then the preacher is saying, yeah, go ahead. Listen to the white man. He ain't so bad. God said love everybody. I believe what Minister so-and-so or Senator so-and-so is saying is right. I believe this political candidate could help us. We gathered here today to do this and to do that. Go ahead.
And then they would use the ministers to give moral justification.
That's it.
For what they do.
That's it. Because we believe we are sheep who will follow a shepherd. You understand? But these shepherds leading the sheep to the slaughter. That's why in the Apocrypha it says, with their idolatrous crew. You understand? Idol shepherds. Just idol worshiping shepherds, Salaki. All right, go ahead, give me part 2.
The article published in the Birth Control Review showed Sanger's empathy with some eugenicist views. Margaret Sanger worked closely with W.E.B. Du Bois on her Negro Project, an effort to expose Southern black women to birth control.
Right? W.E.B. Du Bois, he's a famous American, celebrated black American scholar, you could say. You get the point? He was a celebrated mind, right? That America recognizes as a celebrated mind. And now you're finding out, Sanger worked with him on a whole thing targeting black women with birth control. Because of course, you may not be mature enough to have a child. You might be too poor to have a child. All those are the reasons they would give as to why you need birth control. You understand? Right? Go ahead.
McLeod and Adam Clayton Powell Jr. were also involved in the effort. Much later, Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. accepted an award from Planned Parenthood and complimented the organization's efforts.
Insane.
It is entirely possible.
Absolutely insane. Absolutely insane. Big up Katazar for finding this. At least I didn't see this before. Make sure, Galawan, make sure this is printed out. Damn right. Make sure this is printed out and laminated. Make sure it's printed out and put together as one document and laminated and saved for the camp equipment. You understand? Because you're going to need to pull this out on the street for when this time comes. All right? The average person in Trinidad may not be familiar with Mary McLeod Bethune or Adam Clayton Powell. They may have heard of W.E.B. Du Bois because he wrote a ton of books. And of course, Dr. Martin Luther King, the world knows him. And you see why now. Because he was one of the Negro preachers that they will hire You understand?
Okay.
Go ahead.
It is entirely possible that Sanga's views evolve over time.
Right. So now that statement they're saying is to give some sort of humanity to her. Meaning, prior to this, she was so horrible, but it's possible she may have changed as she got older. Right? Which is what every white person says when you find out what really happened or what they said 20 years ago in their youth while they were young and strong. But as they get older and they're no longer strong and they're no longer young, they start to do what? Compromise, because their old ass could get run over now. You get the point?
Okay.
They're older now, so they start, well, you know, that was a different time. I've evolved. I've grown to love minorities. Because now a minority is cutting your lawn because you ain't strong enough for it. Now a minority is bringing food to you because you ain't going to the store no more, and that minority could kick your ass downstairs. So you know how to switch your narrative for that. You understand? So they're saying, you know, her views may have evolved over time. Go ahead.
Certainly, by the late 1940s, she spoke about ways to solve the Negro problem in the United States.
Right? So now, even though it might be possible that her views evolve over time, in the 1940s, she was advising the US government on how to solve the Negro problem in America. You understand? And her solution was abortion. Right, we're about to read it. Go ahead.
This evolution, however commendable, does not eradicate the impact of her earlier statement.
Go ahead.
We don't want the word to go out that we want to, we don't want the word to go out that we want to exterminate the Negro population. And the minister is the man who can straighten out that idea if it ever occurs to any of the more rebellious members.
You understand? So now, if the UPK stand up one day and say the white man is the devil and abortion is murder, we have a preacher in pocket to deliver a sermon Sunday morning to make you go kill your children. You understand? That's what she's saying. We don't want it to get out that this thing was about killing black babies, so there would be no more black people on the earth. We don't want it to get out, but if it does, we got a preacher on deck to straighten things out, to smooth things over, to get up there and control the niggas, just in case one of the rebellious ones would find out, which means to tell you what? What do you know about that by her saying one of the rebellious ones might find out?
Go
ahead.
Knowing very well that once the threat is recognized, or the rebellious ones get the attention of the members of the public, or especially their own people, our own kind, our Negroes. They are trouble, they don't care do anything about them. So they make sure to have a man to pacify things, or to make it look like that's my extreme. So like the UPK today, they just look extreme to say things like this.
You're right, but there's something else. I'm gonna give you it for time's sake. You know, like how they say, how Kanye say slavery was a choice, and how much of us and we didn't fight back, and that was weird. It's a myth. It's a myth that we did not fight back. That's a myth. That's a lie. There were rebellions all over the place. There were rebellions all over the place, all the time. So much so they realized that rather than coming and killing the rebels, just like how the rebels would stand up and speak and persuade some of the plantation or the free slaves to go left, why don't we just raise up an equally powerful speaker to make the slaves just come back to the plantation? You understand? I'm gonna give you one further. Why don't we raise up a powerful speaker who will make those same slaves kill those rebellious people themselves. Huh? That's old as the day, right? That's what happened with Caiaphas. Who knows what I'm talking about? Go ahead.
If I'm mistaken, that is when he was high priest that day, and he told the other priests and them that the church that is more beneficial for them to kill one man than the whole nation end up in trouble.
That's it. He said the Romans would come and take away both our seat and our place. It is beneficial that one man die for this whole nation than the whole nation suffer. And they went about to plotting to kill Christ because he was the rebel of all rebels. He was the most rebellious. There's a book called Medieval Europe. I think that's the history of medieval Europe, where there's a quote in there that says Jesus Christ was a dangerous and fanatical revolutionary of his time. Like they viewed Christ today. If you want to know how they viewed Christ back then, the Roman government, is how America would view a terrorist. You understand? Like he had charges against him, sedition, government charges. He was wanted. He was most wanted. You understand? For speaking. Because you need the slaves to follow false leaders. You need them to do it, or else they'll have no kingdom. Get the point?
Yes, sir.
Go ahead.
And just like today, I should say back then, if the people on the ground, if that leader has enough influence of the people on the ground, they can't directly touch him because they know he would seem as a martyr to the people. So they would try and find some good ways to get rid of him. Just like how the scribes and Pharisees oftentimes wanted to kill him on spot.
Right.
But they could not do it because of the people.
Exactly. They couldn't do it because it would be murder. They had to execute it, which is different from murder. Execution would be a sentence. Like you go to court and you get sentenced to the electric chair. So they wanted to kill him, but they couldn't murder him because now they would be murderers. So they come up with a reason to kill him. Just like you dumb, loose, weak woman, and in some cases man, would come up with a reason to kill your child. You want to just murder the baby. Well, just go through the 9. If that's the case, just go through the 9 months and then throw your baby off a damn building. You ain't gonna have no baby after. But that would be what? Murder. So we had to find some way to terminate the child. I was raped. School, I ain't gonna graduate school. I'm too poor. All those is reasons, no problem. All right, you sentence this child to death now. You're a wicked bastard. You understand? You're just a wicked bastard. That's it. I know we have two questions in the class. How to deal with somebody who says they was raped. All right, we just read it. The statistically speaking, rape accounts for less than 0.5% of abortions. Rape accounts for less than 0.5% of abortions. I'm gonna tell you something hardcore. You a sister, come get counsel. You was raped and you was pregnant. Come get counsel. Come get counsel. I'm gonna see where you're at. The baby didn't rape you. Just remember that. Somebody else did. The baby did not rape you. Somebody else did. That baby ain't did nothing to you. You understand? But we so far removed from who we are, that seems like a valid reason to commit murder. When that baby didn't do nothing to you. You get the point? Your sister, you went through something horrible like that, a horrible event. Come get some counsel. Come get strengthened up by the man of the Lord, and we'll teach you the right thing to do. We teach you the right thing to do. You get me? Somebody else asked.
So like I said,
Go ahead.
for instance, right, because whenever like somebody asks me something like that, not rape, but robbery, right? I try to put it towards this. You see him, brother, when you just pass up on the streets and no siblings coming up, and you didn't take the time to contribute to him developing a better way of thinking, a better lifestyle. It's circle around and come back to rape. So there's common on us as a people now, the responsibility of doing what we could to affect change in our community, for them to come back to the most side. That is why the system in the type of rapid stated in crime, raping, murders, youths.
You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. And don't okay, this is what you don't want to do. Don't say it's up to the community. It's up to the UPK. That's our job. The community had their time and they failed. Everybody failed. And this is not knocking the community. And when I say the community, I'm not talking about the average brother or sister who trying to do something on their own. You more in the spirit of you should be in here. The community who you talking about that would fix it? The people who capable of doing that is the leaders.
Right.
Your religious leaders, you're rich, you're educated, and they have failed. They have all failed. Get the point? You want that to stop? Come join the UPK.
Right.
You understand? Come find the school. I seen a tape this morning about them two brothers who they say escaped from the prison down there. Right? And the brothers in the video talking about how inconsistent the evidence is. And they have some broad, I forget the name, some broad who she gives witness in all kind of murder cases and she don't never come to court. They have something called a fear statement. I guess it's a FEAR, meaning she gives a statement out of fear. She don't have to come to court because, of course, if they see her, they might kill her. Her name comes up in a ton of murder cases. And, of course, the state is going to pay her for it. So she just living, and then them brothers say they ain't did nothing. They wasn't even there at the time. They say the people was murdered, all the evidence fabricated. And now, the report is that they're armed and dangerous and blah, 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 blah. And it's like, yo, we ain't armed, we ain't dangerous, but I ain't staying in jail no more. The brothers say you could spend about 10 years on remand, meaning you waiting on your case to call for 10 years. Just wait. You just lost in jail. Who gonna fix that? Who gonna fix that, Rowley? Nah. That's your job, That's your job. Don't be like it's up to the community. It's up to you. You wake up in the morning, you figure out how you could fix that. Ask the Lord to show you how to figure out to fix that. And then get to work. Something come in your head, you pick up the phone, you call Galway Slack. It's what about this? What could we do? Could we do this? Could I make that call? He for sure gonna tell you whatever. Go ahead, do it, make the call, get the info. You set your mind to you fixing it. Because it's up to you now. That's what they're there for. That's what all you become officers for. That's what you are troopers for. To fix it. That's your job. You get the point? That's your job, and it's a hell of a job to have. It comes with great responsibility and reward. That's you. All that is on you. Now you got to get to work on. You got to sit and plot and scheme how to get this thing out, how to get Israel to change, how to fish them out the world, how to do it, show them how to do it. Plead and beg the Lord, provoke him to show you how to do it so you can leave him to hell alone. You understand? Okay, cool. Where we at now? 9, what time is it? 9:10. All right. So now we're dealing with Venezuela. All right. Oh, no, somebody else had another question. In time, hold on. What used to happen in Israel before ultrasound existed? Anybody knows?
If I may, it's not directly like that, but you would go to a priest, you would find out, go inquire the Lord, and then you would see certain things.
That's
and
one.
Then give them a response.
That's definitely one. That's definitely one. In times past, when you wanted to inquire of the Lord, you would go see you would go see who in time past was called a seer, but is now called a prophet. You go to a prophet of the Lord to find things out. What's the other thing?
So I guess,
Go ahead.
So like I said,
Go ahead.
They would have trained midwives. Sir.
So what the midwives will tell you?
So like I said, they would assess you, what to say, based on the experience, over the different times of the trimesters, and they may be able to tell you what type of child probably, you know, they have like the type of belly, they tell you which type the child is, if there's some sort of distress based on the experience.
They would have those based on the experience. Even today, you have some women based on experience could tell you, no, it doesn't mean they're always right. But they'll tell you, yeah, you carrying low, or you throwing up all the goddamn time, or this happening, that happening. You might be having a boy or a girl. Now there's something else. There's another thing.
Yes, sir.
Go ahead.
Yes, sir. Is it? I'm not too sure if it's a common practice, but I know it's famous characters in the Bible. They saw that angels of the Lord visited them and tell them, like John the Baptist, you know, and Mary tell Christ, you know, that you be having Mary that you're having a boy, you'll have this one, that one, you know, this the character of the man or the child, you know, will go happen with it.
Right. That's similar to going to see a prophet. I'm gonna give it to you just for time's sake. The other thing is just to wait. just you know, just come home, kiss mama on the belly, rub the belly. If you're a boy, I'll name you this. If you're a girl, I'll name you that. Just wait. Like what difference does it make? Whether you know 2 months in or 9 months in. What, you just gonna collect clothes earlier? Or is it you anxious to be disappointed because you want a girl or you want a boy? You understand? You could just wait. You ain't gonna know she pregnant. In old times, you're not going to know she pregnant. You know, ain't nobody peeing on a stick. Ain't nobody going outside and go get a guava branch and piss on it. And if it turn black, it's a boy. If it turn green, it's a girl. Ain't none of that shit. You had to wait. And if she missed that period, and then she start gaining weight and start throwing up, then, you know, she catch. Right?
Okay.
Hold. Well, guess what? If the seed hold and you know that, just make sure she healthy. Make sure she healthy and make sure she, you know, drinking all that milk and them teas and all them, you know, herbs and stuff to keep her healthy and drinking water. And in 9 months, you'll know if you're having a boy or a girl. That's all. That's all. Ain't no big deal. You just wait. Waiting is something Israel don't like to do no more. Everything is instant. Right? You can just wait. All right? When times pass, you wait. You inquire of the Lord, or possibly some experienced midwife might be able to give you her best opinion based on how you're carrying and stuff like that. All right? And we going back to that too. You know, damn the ultrasound. Good night. Forget all of that. The white man technology needs to go. I always say that shit. I want to go back to horse and, you know, swords and shields and axes. You know what I mean? Forget the cars and everything and you horseback, brother. That's where life is. All right? So now Venezuela, all right? Let's get Venezuela real quick. All right? You all know what's going on in Venezuela. I ain't had to bring you up to speed on that. You have Guaido, you have Maduro. Maduro is elected by the people, won the election fair and square. He's not recognized by America. America recognizes Guaido, right?
Okay.
What is America's real stake in this? Is it diplomacy and politics, or is it something else? Go ahead.
Oil, and they're seeking to obtain
They're seeking to secure oil. Why Venezuela's oil?
Because there's the richest, the richest nation in terms of oil, gas, and gold in the world.
They have not the richest nation, but they have the largest oil reserve on the planet. It's confirmed. They have the largest. You understand? So now if you could control that, you, brother, you control the future. That's basically it. You understand? They have the largest oil reserve on the planet right now on the earth today. Confirmed. That's not no rumor, not no, you know, highball average, nothing like that. All right. So now let's get some history on the whole thing with America and Venezuela and the oil. All right. In the early part of the 20th century, you know, you're going to need to know this, of course, to understand what's going on with America. All right. The early part of the 20th century is when they started first drilling oil wells in Venezuela. All right. Early 20th century. So we're talking about, you know, early 1900s. All right. Early 1900s. Round about, I think, 1940. Right? 1940, somewhere around there, 1940, maybe 45, early 1940s. From the time they had the first oil well drilled in Venezuela to that early 1940s period, Venezuela became the largest producer of oil in the world at that time. You understand? The largest producer of crude oil in the world at that time. All right, so I'm just giving you the timeline and giving you a brief history on it. Right, a brief history on it. So now with that, with being the largest producer of oil in 1940, America became very interested in Venezuela. Very, very interested. America was the largest consumer of the oil from Venezuela. Meaning what? America bought the majority of Venezuela's oil. You understand? And they became involved in the production of Venezuela's oil. They became heavily involved in the production of Venezuela's oil. All right? So having Venezuela now became dependent on America in a way as a consumer. Just like if you buying, you know, if you're making shoes, your number one market is young black men because young black men buy the most shoes. You get the point? Something like that. All right. So around 1961, I think that's the first time American president ever visited Venezuela. That was John F. Kennedy, right? John F. Kennedy made a statement that liberty and economic development or growth must go hand in hand, right? Liberty and economic development must go hand in hand, or economic progress, development, something like that. It must go hand in hand. So, of course, what sounds familiar based on what he's saying? Based on that statement, what sounds familiar to you? Go ahead.
He's saying that you must have, in order to have growth, you must have money circulating within the economy.
Remember, he said liberty and economic progress or economic development goes hand in hand. Go ahead, Maka.
I kind of put it in short. What he's saying, like, you have to buy your level of freedom then. A country must have something to give for America to get a certain amount of freedom.
You want it. You want it. Go ahead.
So like I said, I thought some guys saying so. In other words, democracy and resources must go hand in hand to be able to have a relationship.
I'm a crystallize it the UPK way because I love the training and I want you all to get it. If you want your country to grow economically, you must accept the mark of the beast. We want to bring what to the Middle East? What do they say?
Yes, sir. Like I said, can you repeat that again?
What do they say? We want to bring what to the Middle East?
So like I said, I think it's democracy or something like that.
They'll say democracy, they say something else. They say freedom. We want to bring freedom. What's another word for freedom? Liberty.
Yes, sir.
Liberty. You understand? Liberty is another word for freedom. Liberty. You're at your own liberty, at your own freedom, with whatever you want to do. You get me? So he's telling you outright there. In order to have that, to have economic growth, you need to accept this mark of the beast. You need to come and let me give you some of that freedom. You understand? Go ahead.
As American slogan, land of the free, home of the brave.
Land of the free, home of the brave. The statue of liberty. You get the point? And that freedom is really their mark of the beast. Once again, they'll get you drunk with that wine. They ain't gonna come and say, yeah, take this trade embargo, or if you don't take Christianity, we'll kill you. But they will say, we just want freedom and democracy to reign. We want all people to be free and to prosper. That sounds good, right? Ain't nobody going to dispute that, right? Right or wrong? Ain't nobody disputing that. Ain't nobody disputing that. Nobody would say, nah, we don't want no freedom. We don't want to be prosperous. Everybody will accept that. Well, listen, what comes with that is homosexuality. What comes with that is abortion. What comes with that is drug addiction. What comes with that is capitalism, which is immense poverty for the majority of people and riches and wealth for the minority, for the rich minority. You understand? So that's what he's telling it. He's like, listen, liberty and economic growth must go hand in hand. If you want to keep this money coming, you must allow us in there. You must allow us in there. So now, after the 60s, round about, I think, the 70s, or the 60s into the 70s, you had the Cuban Missile Crisis. Somebody holding the article from who have it? Got one? You have it?
Okay.
Go ahead. Give it to me briefly.
The Cuban Missile Crisis, also known as October Crisis of 1962.
Go ahead.
The Caribbean Crisis, or the Missile Massacre.
Go ahead.
Was a 13-day, right, from October 16th to the 28th of 1962. Right, it was a 13-day confrontation between the United States and the Soviet Union, initiated by the American discovery of Soviet ballistic missile deployment in Cuba. The confrontation is often considered the closest the Cold War came to escalating into a full-scale nuclear war.
Right. So anybody know what a Cold War is?
So,
go ahead.
Like what's going on presently with China and America, with like sanction and tariffs on both of them products.
That's how it starts. That's how it starts. That's how it starts. Go ahead.
our definition of the Cold War, right? A state of political hostility between countries characterized by threats, propaganda, and other measures short of open warfare.
Right? So it starts with that political instability and it escalates. But it escalates in terms of threats. And what happens is, if you have two major superpowers, they will get allies who are smaller countries, and they would pass the physical threat through them. Like, for instance, who is it? North Korea? South Korea is pro-America. North Korea is not. So South Korea and North Korea always have conflicts along their border. You understand? Where they'll fire missiles, do testing and stuff like that. That's really America fighting China. You get me? Just using them pawns. So in the 60s, you had Cuba, who was under who? Fidel Castro, being used by Russia and backed by Russia. America come to find out that right there in Havana, right there in Havana, they got missiles from the USSR that could light America up. America was not having it, brother. They was not having it. I believe they sank some ship, all kind of thing off the coast. All right? America was not having it because it was like, yo, them missiles is in our backyard. Like a missile being launched from Russia, they have time to intercept it because it's coming from so far. Cuba is right there. You get the point? In minutes, it gonna hit land. They wasn't having it. And they started sanctioning, closing off Cuba. You know, they would, any ships coming bringing goods was sank. They'd fire on them. Cuba got closed off from America and from receiving aid from anybody else. Then they had attempts on Castro's life. Now, throughout all of this, Venezuela supported America in their Cold War against Cuba. Venezuela supported them. Go ahead.
So the party that America would have had in their pocket would have been Venezuela at that time against Cuba.
Right.
Against Russia.
But not in terms of war, but in terms of oil.
Okay.
You understand? Because of course, oil mean, what does oil mean?
Okay, sir.
Oil
means a continuous growth in economy or continuous consistent following the fueling.
Money. Let's make it simple. Oil means money. And with money, I can buy many guns and many fighter jets. With money, I could pay your security guards to try to shoot you. You get the point?
Okay.
So Venezuela was on the side of America during that time. They did not come to Cuba's defense. They did not send no aid for Cuba. They was more or less on America's side, right? So moving forward in the 60s and 70s, Venezuela experienced a oil boom with the price of oil worldwide. The production was at all-time high. They're swimming in money. With the advent of that, a ton of Americans left and went down to Venezuela, brought their families, and set up shop. Right? A whole lot of them went down there. I believe a lot of them was from Texas. Went down there and set up shop, brought their families, and of course, with it, they brought America's culture and lifestyle. With it, they brought what? Precept?
Yes, sir.
Go ahead.
Because the rich, the poor, nobody gets it enough time to take the market down.
Not that. With it, they brought America's lifestyle. They brought the wine of her fornication. They brought the thing to make you drunk and just accept whatever was happening. You understand? They brought that. They brought America's culture and lifestyle. Just think Trinidad before McDonald's, and then McDonald's is here. Pizza Hut is here. You all remember them days? You remember at one time it was Royal Castle, which is local, and Mario's. Mario's Pizza was the closest thing, and Royal Castle, the closest thing to fast food Trinidad had. And then Pizza Hut came. And it was like, Pizza Hut was like a club. It was like Pizza Hut was, Jaws was dropping over Pizza Hut. Then McDonald's came. And cable came. And it's like, life changed. You get the point?
Yeah.
Right? So now, oil running, Yankee down there, money making. There began to be a huge disparity in the population, where the wealth stayed upon the elite of the Venezuelan population and political system, because a lot of Americans was involved in the political system, right? Remember, liberty and economic growth must go hand in hand. So if you want us to keep buying, you need to give us power over you. You need to take this mark. You get the point? You need to let us come in there and push our thing. So of course, capitalism is taking over. Somebody look up neoliberalism. Neoliberalism. Right? Neoliberalism, like liberal or liberalist. Liberalism. Neoliberalism. All right? So of course, the rich getting richer, the poor is getting poorer. The majority of the population was very poor. A small amount of the population was rich, and of course, the elite was swimming in cash. And they loved it. They loved it. They loved it. You find it yet? Go ahead.
Neoliberalism, a modified form of liberalism tending to favor free market capitalism.
You understand? It's a modified form of liberal. It tending to favor free market capitalism. So a free market doesn't have certain rules and certain standards. It's open. So whoever is the biggest and the strongest at the time could come and charge whatever, whenever. You get the point? It's free market. And it's a new form of it, meaning it's a little bit more acceptable. It sounds good. So that's what was going on at the time. So now we're going through the 60s, the 70s, the 80s. Come 1992, 98, I believe, Chavez win the election. Chavez elected around 98, 99, and he came in. Now Chavez he's not an Edomite, he's not a white man, he's not American, he is a local. He is of the people. He is the new leader. So at first, he was not against America. He wasn't necessarily supporting them, but he was at first not against America. Right? You're with me? You'll need make sure you have this down. You're gonna need it because of course the mantra now or what they're pushing now is that Chavez was evil, he did this, he did that, he sank the economy. Maduro came in and did worse things than him. America is trying to bring what? Freedom to the Venezuelans, which is all a goddamn lie. You had to know the history of it to find out. All right? We have 98 Chavez coming, right? In 2000, go ahead.
All right, I spoke to Venezuelan the other day, and I could talk English, right? And he was saying,
hold on. You speak to a Venezuelan and he not in class? Listen, put Crocus bag over your head and bring him to class next time. Just kidnap him. I'll take the charge. I'll talk to Gary. I'll tell Gary I ordered that shot. Put me in jail. All right. Go ahead.
Right? And I was asking him, so what are you doing? He said, why not? He believes it's a better candidate and why? Right? They said, well, Maduro, I mean, this one, why? Because Maduro, you know, the country sinking in poverty, everybody going through it, and nobody gets enough. So the idea of what they call freedom is really the deception they're really buying into them. So I want to know how to dismantle it step by step, you know, but I'm getting it here, see that. So what again, you know what I mean? So, what's the impactful thing I should show them? To show them just a mask of freedom. It's not really freedom.
Okay.
Because
go ahead.
Yeah, so, in other words, you try to tell me about my country and you know, you know, so how to dismantle that and cut it to pieces to show exactly down the line, and that is just a mask.
I get you. Of course, all this history running down, you could kick back to him. I done battled a Venezuelan up here that same week. And he said the same thing. He's mad. He's like, you can't tell me about my country. You ain't living there. That's, you know, that's retarded. There's of course, you give him all this history here. How old is he, approximately?
27, somewhere around 27.
Right. He's too young to know anything. Right. All this happened, you know. This is way before his time. You get me?
Right.
So he's too young to know anything. His parents might know, so you had to kill him with the history of his country. What's one precept to answer Tazo's question of how to help the brother understand? Quickly, or we pass the time. I need a one-hitter quitter. Come on.
Help him understand.
Okay, like what Tazo was saying, he want to help the brother understand, right? Of course, you could show him the history, but I need one precept of what he really needs to show this brother.
Pastor, like yes, sir. The most potent precept I can think about that is Ecclesiasticus 12 and 10.
Let me hear you.
So when you get to that one, sir, I was thinking of our next one, sir, which is like to start it off to really go into the history one, right? It is Psalm 55 and verse 20, I think it is, 21, 22, I think it is, where you talk about his word was sweet as butter, sweet as oil or something like that, but what was in his heart? Like what he really means to be brave to Venezuela.
All that is good. All that is good. All that is good. That one is good. I know the one you're talking about in Ecclesiasticus 12 and 10, never trust thine enemy.
Yeah.
Maka, you close. So, okay, I tell him, never trust thine enemy. What's he going to ask me next?
Who is the enemy?
So that's what I want.
Right. The show the devil, the white man is the devil, the Bible speaks of. That's the foundation.
That's the foundation.
So
if you don't even have the precept, that's the foundation.
Karen.
You had to go, the white man is the devil. He going to be like, what? Me no deal. You know what I mean? He is the white man is the devil. Es blanco hombre es el diablo. Learn it. You're gonna need it. You're going to need it. Es blanco hombre, the white man, es diablo, is the devil. Right? Give me Second Thessalonians 2 and 3. Somebody quick.
Book of 2 Thessalonians chapter 2 and verse 3. Let no man deceive you by any means. For that day shall not come, except there come a falling away first, and that man of sin shall be revealed,
right?
The son of the perdition.
Right? Do not be deceived. That's what you got to tell him. Listen, brother, you are deceived. You deceived by the devil. I'm gonna show you. You want things to get better. You want things to be better, and you think Guido is gonna make it better. Guido is not going to make it better, but it could become better. But that day will not come unless there come a falling away first. And until that man of sin be revealed, the white man who is the devil. You understand? You need to have that in your head when you're dealing with any Israelite. You understand? You need to have that in your head, brother, when you're dealing with any Israelite. The white man is the devil. Some sister come up to you crying and talking about she's struggling with another. Listen, the white man is the devil. He's the devil. He's the devil. The white man is the devil. Them brothers who made the tape after they escaped from prison, the reason they had to run away from prison in their own country after being framed is because the white man is the goddamn devil the Bible speaks of. You need to show them who they need to blame. You understand? And then you proceed to run down the history for him on his own country. On his own country, you run down the history and you tell him, listen, man, I hear you, I'm not from there, but I've studied. And I understand what happened in Venezuela. I understand it. Right?
Yes, sir.
Go ahead.
Even when you look at the dynamics of the power structure, right, between Maduro and Guaido, there's a big generational gap where Guaido is appealing to the young people and Maduro, because of the older folks know the history, they side with Maduro.
They side with Maduro.
So that one
exactly. They side with the what they call it, Bolivarian Revolution. You all look that up too. I was going to go into it tonight, but you all look that up too. The Bolivarian Revolution from Simon Bolivar. The Bolivarian Revolution. You all look up that whole movement. You get the point? And of course, when America wants to destabilize it, they appeal to your youth because youth is carnal and appeals and wants to be satisfied by lust. And America is good at feeding you lust. You understand? It's good at feeding you skinny jeans and abortions and, you know, homosexuality and pornography and weed and heroin and mollies and whoring and stripping. And unfortunately, our young people are subjected. You get the point? So of course that people gonna go after. So good. 1998, Chavez come into play. At first, he was not against America. Right? Around about 2001, 2002, there was a 2-day coup, a coup that lasted 48 hours. Because of course, under the regime before Chavez, poverty was at an all-time high. Illiteracy was high, no medical care. I think the majority of the population was poor, like maybe 80 or 70% of the population was below the poverty line. Between the time of America coming down there in the 60s to the time of Chavez, they would always have riots and public uprisings throughout Venezuela until they organized and formed a coup. Chavez later crushed the coup with the military, and I believe he killed the conspirators of the coup or put them in jail. One of the two. Yeah, I check the details. All right. At once he came out and started blaming America for it with no proof. All right, he started blaming America heavy for it with no proof. Later on, the record showed that I think the CIA or the FBI, whatever, America knew the conspirators of the coup and had actually made contact with them. And they did not tell Chavez anything about it. You understand? From that day, Chavez was anti-America. From that day onwards, he was, you know, F the white man. All right? This is him here. Hold on. This is him here. Y'all listen clearly.
I think that the first people who should read this book are our brothers and sisters in the United States, because their threat is in their own house. The devil is right at home. The devil himself is right in the house. And the devil came here yesterday. Yesterday, the devil came here. Right here. And it smells of sulfur still today. This table that I am now standing in front of. Yesterday, ladies and gentlemen, from this rostrum, the President of the United States, the gentleman to whom I refer as the devil, talking as if he owned the world. Truly, as the owner of the world. I think we could call a psychiatrist to analyze yesterday's statement made by the President of the United States. As the spokesman of imperialism, he came to share his nostrums to try to preserve the current pattern of domination, exploitation, and pillage of the peoples of the world. An Alfred Hitchcock movie could use it as a scenario. I would even propose a title: The Devil's Recipe.
Go ahead, go ahead, go ahead, go ahead, go ahead. Go ahead, Chavez, man. Go ahead. I see everybody look at, hold on. I'll stop it too soon. Look at the Arab. The world terrorist. Look at him. He on his phone like, what is he saying? What is he saying? He on his phone like, you know, what in the hell is he saying? Because one black man decided to stand up against the devil. He said, this sounds like a movie and I have a name for it. El Diablo. Right? Chavez was gun-ho about it, brother. He was like, damn that. George Bush is the devil. And he spoke out against Obama also. He went to the UN and called Obama a puppet, and Obama was weak and he's a punk and blah, 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 blah. Chavez then went to start turning around Venezuela's structure. He rewrote Venezuela's constitution. And with rewriting that constitution, the aim of it was to strip the elite of all power. He wanted to take away the wealth from the elite and send it to the poor. And he also changed the constitution so the poor, who previously was left out of the electoral process, would now have a say in elections. I guess he gave them more right to vote or more room to vote. Whatever the elite had before, it was the poor couldn't really vote, right? Between 2000, go ahead.
I hate to listen at this point, but just for clarification on Twitter, right? So it's almost like, so since the poor of Venezuela didn't have the opportunity to be involved in politics at that point, they wouldn't have a connect, so they have a big disconnect. Like sometimes like, oh, we'll have youths going to school now, they wouldn't have an idea of things, no history, because this team that they showed with Hugo Chavez is about 2008, right? And that is about 11 years ago tops. Right, so that very closeness, unfortunately, the country was such in a comfortable state that they didn't have the need or they didn't feel it was needful to understand some things of politics. That's why they have that kind of disconnect, because they believe this man, what's his name, Guaido, America, as opposed to Chavez.
Okay, I wouldn't take it back so far because, okay, the disconnect comes now more than before. The last bit of years of Chavez into Maduro, there was a little gap there where America started heavy propaganda against Chavez. They tried it when he got power. He got power in 98. Well, not right away, but after the coup, they was trying him, and Chavez was not having it. Chavez rewrote the constitution. The world recognized the new constitution as the most forward-thinking document at that time because of his ideas. Chavez raised the literacy rate to 100% in his years. Between 2002 till 2013 is when he died. Between that time, literacy in Venezuela went to 100%. There's free universal health care. The poverty, I think poverty when he was there was officially 50% when he came in. By the time he left, it was 25, less than 25%. And we're talking about what, 2002 to 2013, we're talking just about 10 years. In 10 years, he switched the whole economy around. The entire economy around. So much he started affecting the region. Other Latin American countries, the economy started going up, and he was making deals with the Caribbean. You get the point? Like Chavez turned Venezuela around. Go ahead.
I think also, you're speaking about the propaganda of the US. They also started a lot of embargoes. Even there's late stage before he died. So that started to cripple the economy before Maduro came in. So by the time Maduro came in, without that power, that dynamic rulership, everything crumbled. It was like the final nail in the coffin.
That's it. Remember there was a time Chavez, he was up and strong, and then he started getting sick. And they knew he was getting sick. Then he was so sick where they knew he was going to die. And then Maduro was the next one that he raised up. But just in that transition, there was enough instability and loyalty in the country where America started pushing the propaganda. And then, of course, the trade embargoes, it destroyed the resources that Venezuela had to buffer them. And Britain was keeping some of their money, a few $100 million. They couldn't trade, they couldn't bring stuff in. So, of course, times started getting hard. With hard times comes what? Come on.
Poverty and compromise.
Poverty. With poverty comes what?
Okay, sir.
Mike, what? You
desperation and
Mike, what there?
Okay, sir. Sometimes compromise and a lot of ingenuity.
True, that's true. Mike, what? Mike, what is there?
Yes, sir. The stabilization.
That's true, but okay, you're going, listen, mind not high, but condescend to men of low estate. Well, everything you're saying there, the stabilization, lack of ingenuity, brother, bring it down to earth. Shah. With poverty comes
drugs, homosexuality, prostitution.
Bring it down to earth. Simple. Come on, somebody help me out. So what? Please bring up. So what? Let me hear so what first.
Christianity.
Oh Lord, no, y'all ain't poor. Y'all forget what it's like to be poor. I see y'all find the truth. Y'all wealthy now. Y'all forget. Niggas is giving all the wrong answer. Listen, but that's good though. That's how the truth make you just forget that life. The truth makes you forget what's out there because your life gets better because you look at things different. Makar, let me hear you.
Poverty comes sense.
Oh boy, I thought he was going to give it to me. Galawan, come on. Wait, hold on. Bayat, come on.
The poverty, it is basically drop your standards and accept anything, sir.
Oh Lord, jeez, Lord help me. How them Christians just say, Jesus, take the wheel. Take the wheel. Come on, Tazo.
Desperation.
You close, Galawan. You're close. You can't.
Oh, crime.
Tawana, god damn. Yeah. Who's that standing by the door? Who just walking? Somebody standing by the door? Oh, okay, I get you. With poverty comes crime, and crime started increasing heavily in Venezuela because America started cutting them off because they, like an animal, saw an opportunity. They saw an opportunity to that Chavez was weak and that they could take him. Saw an opportunity, right? They saw that they could take him. You get the point? Right? And they was plotting to take him, Mark. They was plotting to take him. All right? Judah Maccabee. Chavez is not I.S.U.P.K, he's Asher. All right? You need to make sure you're in class. I hope you're in a U.P.K class so you can learn the difference with your brothers. Right? Not every person who speaks Spanish is a Mexican. Don't do that shit. It's like everybody with a Caribbean accent is not a Jamaican. There's other islands. There's other places that speak Spanish besides I.S.U.P.K. He's an Asherite. He's Asher. You get it? No, not discounting I.S.U.P.K. I.S.U.P.K got some rough and tough ones too. You better go look up Kazakia every Wednesday night in the middle of the week. He teach I forget the name of his shows. The Something Truth. The Something Truth. I forget the name of it. All right, you better go check him out. All right, so with poverty coming through, it started ripping Venezuela apart. Then Maduro comes on the scene, more propaganda, win the election, Guaido is there, the country is split. That's where we are today. You get the point? That's where we are today. Go make sure for your homework, make sure you look up the Bolivarian Revolution. Make sure you look up that. Of course, you know, neoliberalism. Make sure you look up all those things. And of course, Venezuela's resources. Venezuela is not a poor country, but the embargoes where they can't buy and sell, even though they got money. The mark of the beast. Big or small, rich or poor, you will not be able to buy or sell. The mark of the beast is what killed Venezuela. You get the point? Remember, JFK said, liberty and economic growth go hand in hand. So since Chavez didn't want the liberty, they didn't get no economic growth. Now you can't buy shit. No money in the streets. Now people is poor and starving. And guess what the white man knows about people? When poverty and hunger exist, we will turn on each other without the Lord. You understand? Without the Lord, I would look at you like a meal, meaning this. Whatever you have that's not nailed down, I'm taking it. You get the point? You welcome me into your house, you feed me. I'm looking to see how many more cans of rice is in the damn closet. How many more meat and fish you have. I'm looking to come take what you have because times is hard. It sounds like a good excuse, right? Just like abortion. It's a good excuse to abort. It's a good excuse to steal. It's a good excuse to kill and rape and rob. It's not a good excuse. You need to come in the truth so you can grow up. So you can get hardened by hard times and know what? Finish it. Finish the thought. Help me close the class. I done over the time. Brotherhood is a weapon. I take that as a close second. That's not what I want.
Okay. So like that.
Come on.
So like that. The white man is the devil that the Bible speaks.
The white man is the devil the Bible speaks of, brother. That's it. That's what gets you through. You know that this white man is the devil. And knowing that he's the devil, he has to pay. How does he have to pay? By me keeping the law, statutes, and commandments. By me having that brotherhood. By me binding together with my brothers, no matter what. No matter what comes up. What issue we have, we're going to bind together because we are going to walk this devil like the dog he is. You understand? With that, pass the class over to Priest and Officer Shaw. Clap it up. All right. Go ahead, Shaw. Go ahead with the announcement. Go ahead, Shaw, boy. That's it, boy. Shamar in the place and all kind of things, boy. Go ahead, Doc.
The current announcement. We are the I.S.U.P.K. out of 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York, under Commander Gen.YAHANNA. New rules for brothers and sisters. When a new brother or sister comes into the school, they are off limits for 6 months. They are to be absolutely saluted only. They are here to shield themselves of the world. After 6 months, if a brother or sister has any interest in a particular person, he or she must get permission from the head to speak to a brother or sister. There is another 6 months in which a brother or sister will court each other. After this 6 month period, the brother or sister will get permission from the head to marry. Tithes, which is a commandment. You can find it in Numbers 18 and 21, Malachi 3, 8 and 10. Means tenth in Hebrew, and it's pronounced Mashara.
Ma'aishara.
10% of every penny of it. Mashara.
Ma'aishara.
Ma'aishara. Ma'aishara. Ma'aishara.
I realize Salakia. Say it how you want to say that. I forget. Salakia. I shouldn't say nothing. You know what I mean? Say it how you want to say it. Ma'aishara, Mashara. Go ahead. Yeah. Go ahead.
Ma'aishara.
Right. Go ahead. Solid. Tithes. Bring it.
Right. 10% of every penny of any increase the Lord gives you to the treasury department or teacher priest fund. Free will offering for priests, non-mandatory. Whatever amount you would like to give. Uncommon holy complication. Feast of First Fruits, Monday, June the 17th to 2019. Leviticus 23, 10 to 22. Reminder of crumbs and add water one. Check on social media.
Salakia. Go ahead. Listen, Sean. Go ahead. Lord help you out. Go ahead. Go ahead with that. Go ahead, Sean. Go ahead. Go ahead, Salakia. Go ahead. We go get it. We go get it out.
That I.S.U.P.K. from Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and so on for I.S.U.P.K. event materials. If a brother wants to be a trooper in the school, then he should is to start wearing all black, which includes black boots, like shirts, like pants, like headbands or scarf.
All right, we're going to do the salute for the time's sake, all right?
I imagine. Let's give the teacher one quickly salute. Imagine Shabbat. Imagine. Barak.
Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai Barakathum.
Yamata. Class dismissed.
Go ahead, boy. Go ahead, do your thing, Do your thing. Do your thing, Good job, warrior. Good job, Hebrew.